Hey, what's up? Just quick comment. So on that intro, I don't think I ever realized how abrupt it ends. It just you just sit here jamming and it just stops, and I'm like, and I forget. But anyway, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to It's in the Blood. I'm Alex, and here is my dad, and we're ready to rock today.
So on that intro, when I made it, because it's been 6 months now.
6, 7, 8. I don't know. We've been here a little while now.
Well, anyway, when I made it, I did not know how to do the fade in and fade out stuff portion on my editing software. I can go back and touch that up so you don't feel so threatened.
I don't know. It's just like, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it ends pretty quick. So yeah, I know how to fix that now. So
well, you know, it's about that time that we go back and revamp and re-update everything anyway. So it'll be a good time to work on that.
Do you say that? Jonalyn Serrato?
Jonalyn Serrato, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for that like.
Oh yeah, thanks for dropping a like. Anybody watching, be sure to drop a like. Come over to YouTube, subscribe, and share this post out to anybody you know, and we really appreciate it.
Heck yeah. So I don't know. I was sitting here looking at over, the topics of Monday today. We had a full weekend of football.
I mean, it kind of worked out perfect. Like our Thursday night stream kind of got into some of preseason, but it also kind of was like the beginning mark of the entire week 2. The only thing is, we're going to run into the final game of week 2 is going to start tonight, Jacksonville and New Orleans, which I'm, really curious about that matchup. I've never been so invested in preseason football, but I think this is going to be a good one to watch. Also, she said, good evening, Shane and Alex.
I know. I forgot to open up a Facebook chat today, too, so that I could.
You can from StreamYard.
Really?
Yeah, where it says all. You click on it, and you can type to one or the other.
Oh, I know, but I was trying to keep. I do one for my personal accounts, and then so that me and you aren't running over each other on the It's in the Blood and stuff.
Ah, gotcha. Yep. So, yeah. Also, just want to compliment the orange you got going on today. It looks good. Orange on orange and gray.
Well, there's a real reason for all of that, and the main reason is this wonderful, awesome Bengals hat I'm wearing today was purchased by you, so I felt it necessary to sport it today. And I felt that it was time to actually show some support for my football team with my background for the day. And so I picked some Bengal stripes. I got a couple others that I'm going to use maybe on Thursday or whatnot. Pretty solid. I'm ready to get on board and start doing some real promoting of my Bengals, because I'm starting to believe that the possibility of a winning season is there.
Hang on. I'm about to rearrange the office and make it look nice, but I got to. It's upside down. But
heck yeah.
I don't need a green screen. I got the real thing. But anyway, for real, all in all, I'm excited to talk football. I'm excited to talk baseball. I'm excited to talk about whatever this chat decides to throw at us today. And, I've had a really productive week, so I'm ready to go and ready to do some stuff.
So
it's the most productive I've been in a while, but I did have the entire week off of work, so that comes with it.
I would say let's just get through the ugly stuff first.
There is no ugly today. Today is about happiness and good. Look, we're going to talk about things that can be viewed as ugly, but there is a positive to everything, and anything that you throw at me that's going to sound a little ugly today, I know for a fact on my end I have a positive rebuttal.
Well, and I'm not going to swing it as negative, but I'm going to start it out. We were discussing, you and I privately, the all the undue hate for a few drop balls by Jamar Chase.
Okay, yeah. This
So
is gonna sound really ugly, and it looks really bad. And I get on YouTube, and you know how like when you're scrolling, that people with the community posts have the ability to post pictures and polls and all of that. Well, I'm just gonna break the. We're gonna start and get it over with. But I screenshotted this just to show you, and this guy posted, and he said, "Bengals fans, look away." Let's see if I get that to focus.
yeah.
Yep, there it is. That's the only ugly. Also, what's up, Brewers Prospecting? Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, so we talked about this. We both had some real definitive opinions, but let's just swing this positively, because coming out of college, this kid's level of talent is otherworldly. John Ross was known as a speedster wide receiver in a weak Pac-10, where he had a quarterback with a strong arm and could catch a floating 50-yard pass.
Yeah, I mean, well, you have to think about it. Him, and this is why I'm not dogging on Panay Sewell just yet. They both opted out. They haven't been on a football field in over a year, other than training camp and things like that. They haven't seen the fans, the noise, the crowd. He hasn't seen an NFL defense just yet. It's preseason, and that's what these games are meant to be for. This is what we needed for Joe Burrow last year, and we didn't get. But like, this is the beautiful part about it. It's preseason, and it's made to see what you have and what you don't have, what you need to work on, what you don't need to work on, what you got. And it's to work out the kinks of just the newness of the NFL for these rookies. Like, all rookies, they have to get over that first time jitters and stuff. Like, all of these new rookie quarterbacks that we've been seeing the last couple weeks, these new wide receivers, running backs, all these guys, they're allowed to make mistakes, especially in the preseason, because it's the first time for them. And you can't tell me like the first time you ever drove a car, or the first time you had a job interview, or the first day of your first job wasn't the most nerve-wracking thing ever. It's something you have to deal with and get through, and this is what that is for Jamar Chase. Look, they took him aside this practice yesterday. And Tyler Boyd, we don't have to worry about him. He's going to have probably one of the best seasons of his career this year, with Joe Burrow staying healthy, of course. Even without Joe Burrow staying healthy, even if it was just Brandon Allen all year, Tyler Boyd's going to have a career year. T. Higgins has got his rookie season on his back. He's working into the system. He's going to have a career year. So that's where, T. Higgins, he didn't shine immediately last year. He worked into it, and then look, he ended up with almost 1,000 yards. He was in the 900 yards. Look, Jamar Chase is going to follow those footsteps. This is a John Ross replica right now, but that's because John Ross didn't take a year off of football before he came to the Bengals. He didn't have to deal with all this stuff. Like, that was just what his issue. Look, Jamar Chase isn't injured, like there's another John Ross comparison. If he went down with an injury because he dropped 3 balls, then it would sound like John Ross. But no, he got up and he's like, I'm going to fix this. He still has a positive mindset. He hasn't given up on himself. And no, there's no reason to dog on him just yet.
Well, yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go. There, and I'm going to have to disagree with Ms. Shelby for just a second, because she stated that the only reason that John Ross was bad because he was hurt from day one. Not true. He had issues the whole time. I think he was overdrafted. I think they drafted him too high because he had unreal speed. And unreal speed does not always translate to the NFL. He still has the same speed. He still can't catch a ball. So that's not the only reason he was bad. He was bad because he couldn't catch on a regular basis. He couldn't catch the type of balls that he was being thrown. What's up, Relic Reaper Metal Detecting, Don?
What's up, Don? How's it going, man?
It's nice to see you. But the thing of it is that, and to speak to the Bengals organization, they gave John Ross plenty of opportunity to straighten himself out.
Oh, yeah, he had plenty of chances.
So, and I think, seeing that, how the organization took him in and did not discard him right away, I think they gave him every opportunity to be a pro, and it just never worked out for him. And I wish the man well. I don't know if he's playing or not this year. I
I
haven't looked.
feel like he's with the Giants. Like, that could be wrong, but I feel like he ended up with the Giants this year.
Yeah, I mean, he got plenty of help and work and just couldn't quite cut it. And that's okay because not everybody, how many times have you seen a first round pick bust video of people that went to Jamarcus Russell, probably one of the biggest busts of all time, quarterback out of LSU.
I mean, look at all the first round quarterbacks that went to Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny Manziel. I mean, come on.
I mean, that dude, he just cared about partying. That's what that was. But money and partying and girls, he didn't really care that too much about football. But
Yeah.
he just loved the fame. But, bringing up John Ross and, all of his efforts kind of brings me to another guy that I feel like this could be a good year for him, and I kind of hate what the Bengals have done with him over his career so far. But Auden Tate, I feel like he's continuously pushed to the side. And look, I get it when you've got all these good guys around you and you want them to play. But, I'm just thinking about that catch he made, which was the most ridiculous catch I've seen in preseason this year, where he's fumbling in the air and still manages to bring it down while getting hit. Like, this guy has fantastic catches, fantastic hands. He's got great footwork as well, which is probably the most important part of why he's so successful doing all these crazy things. But, he's not a number one wide receiver. I know. But he could be. I just feel like he hasn't been given a proper chance to show that because of everybody around him. And I feel like this could be a good year for him, being their fourth down back.
I don't know how this really plays out because Mike Brown is not the kind of guy that does this, but Auden Tate is a huge trade piece right now. If they decide that they have to, instead of cutting him, I would have, if they ever decided to, because right now you've got three that are definitely on the team. And that fourth spot is really between Auden Tate and Mike Thomas, it looks like, and that number 16, that Irwin kid.
I mean, that Irwin kid's pretty good too.
They all look, there's a lot of receivers that look solid, but you know what? You always need extra receivers. You always will. So,
well, yeah, especially because the position they play, it's easy to get hurt.
So,
you have to have depth in the roster.
I'm not saying that they're going to cut him or they're going to let him go, but if they decided to let go of one of those receivers and put somebody out there for trade, he would bring back great value because he's got great hands, he's got great height, and he's a good route runner. And anywhere in the NFL, when you're a 6'5" wide receiver and you got hands like he has and can catch, there's going to be room. We're going to have the ability to trade a receiver, make some kind of a deal maybe because we're heavy on wide receiver because there's a lot of talent on the outside for the Bengals right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the Reds. We were talking a few weeks ago how they have probably the best problem ever. They have so much talent that they don't know who they want to cut. And I feel like Auden Tate fits in that same kind of conversation. I don't really want to see him go. I want to see him have a good year. And I think Joe Burrow would be good for him.
Yeah, that was.
I don't see him being like Tyler Boyd this year. But, we also have T and we have Jamar. But I do think, having a fourth solid number 4 receiver in him would be perfect.
Well, no, he fits that mold. He's good on the outside. The only place he doesn't fit in is on the inside or in the slot. He's more of an.
We have Tyler Boyd though. That's fine.
And I gotta say that going forward, I really see Tyler Boyd and Jamar sharing the slot because I see Jamar Chase as more of a super slot receiver than I do the outside threat. I think Tyler Boyd's probably more of an outside threat still at this point. And I think
feel like Tyler Boyd is a threat no matter where you put him. I just feel like he is just not given as much credit as he needs to be because he plays for Cincinnati.
See, I feel like he might be the best slot receiver in the league right now because he plays it really well.
I compare him with Cole Beasley, and the only reason I say that is because, seriously, I don't know what it is, and it's always been that way. I just love that man. He's good at his job. He played with a broken fibula or some shit last year for 3 weeks, and he was still making better catches than most of these guys out there. And so I see so much of each other in them in that position. And so I completely agree. Like, if we're going to call Tyler Boyd the number one slot receiver, then Cole Beasley's number two. If Cole Beasley's number one, then Tyler Boyd's number two, and there's no argument for me. The only person I'd put up there as a good slot receiver is Michael Thomas. Because, like, look, he's not that good down the field like everyone thinks he is. He's a slot receiver. I don't care. He catches slants. That's what he's good at because he's a freaking noodle. And, I don't want people saying, yeah, Michael Thomas is your deep threat. I'm like, no, you could have a better chance throwing Alvin Kamara 60 yards down the field for a catch than Michael Thomas. He'll drop it. Alvin Kamara's a tank. But, I don't know. I love the slot receiver position just as much as I love the tight end position because I feel like it's almost the same thing. You get your big tight ends running across the middle. Speaking of tight ends, we finally got to see Thaddeus Moss this week, which was awesome. I hope he makes the team. I think he will, but I'm really happy to see him there. He didn't get a chance last year because he was injured all season, so this is basically like a rookie year all over for him. And I'm really excited to see all those guys work together. We knew we wouldn't see Joe Burrow last week or this week, but there's a good 75% chance we're going to see him at least one drive this week.
I think it's I can't believe I'm saying this, but I really think it's important for him to get out there with the first team on the first set of downs.
Yeah, just like Tom Brady, against the Bengals, at least one drive.
But I think it's more important for Joe to get back out there on the field because it's I don't think that he should break the ice on opening day. I don't think that's a good time for him to break the ice because everybody's going to be motivated. He needs to have his feet under him a little bit. You know what? Even if you're out there for just one set of downs and you go 3 and out, I still think that's good. It's a good show of confidence for your team, and you're coming back home for your game's home this week, I think, right? And I lost her. So, so I think it's good for Joe to come out there and throw. I really feel like that it's important for that offensive line to get a chance to protect him, to show what they've worked for before week 1 starts. And with that being said,
hey, so I'm just gonna show you. Let's see, cam. Oh no, not that. More camera. Here we go. So, my computer just I don't know what happened. It just went black and it just pulled up a tab by itself. So,
did your screen change color at all?
No, it just X'd off my browser.
I don't know.
I'm pulling it back up, but I was just sitting here talking with you, and then it just went. I went. Okay, but I'm here. I'm listening. I'm trying to get back into it. I don't know.
No worries.
What
I was just finishing my thought about week 1 Burrow. If they let him go out there and play a set of 4 downs and he drives down and gets a couple first downs, that's great. Maybe 2 sets of downs if the first one doesn't go well. Give him a chance to let everybody play with him for a second. Let a couple of throws happen. Let Joe Mixon grab a couple handoffs. It's just really good for continuity and game time situation. So forward.
Okay, so who does the Bengals play week 3 preseason? For some reason, I want to say Philadelphia, but that don't sound right to me.
Is it Indianapolis?
No.
I haven't. I'll look.
I'm making the switch right now back to the other one.
Okay.
Alex, you can go grab my laptop if you want. No, I'm good. I don't. It's like it X'd out of my tab. Okay.
They play the Dolphins, and there she goes again. Oh no! Waiting for her to connect down here. They play the Dolphins on the 29th, 6 days from today.
So who did they play 6 days from today?
The Miami Dolphins.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing I was going towards when I said that, asking about it, is bringing Joe Burrow in. It wasn't good to get him against Tampa Bay's defense, and definitely not against Washington's. I think Washington's defense is right there neck and neck with Tampa Bay's. But we play the three of the hardest defenses in preseason. But I do think this is really important to show off the offensive line for one in preseason, to show that we're not that concerned anymore, like that we've got it. It's just like a confidence thing. Like we can put Burrow out there in preseason confidently. And also, like you said, I agree. It doesn't need to be a week one thing. They're going to play back-to-back games at home. And, this will get the crowd motivated. This is going to get him motivated, seeing all these people show up for his preseason game. And, I just feel like he's got to be – like, I know he's probably one of the most confident guys ever in terms of football. Like, he's just got that ego, but it's because his level of passion, and that's what I respect about him. He's like, I can do anything as long as I set my mind to it. I love football, so nothing's going to stop me from playing football. Like, last year when he got injured, an hour after he got carted off, he was like, you can't take me out that easy. I'll be back next year. Like, he was already ready. And so, like, I think even with that level of confidence he has, this game is important for him to play at least one drive, because he's got to be nervous as hell. There's no way they were going to let him play in Washington, because that's where he got hurt. But, it's just like Jamar Chase working out the kinks of a rookie in preseason. This is working out the kinks of coming back from a major season-ending injury. He needs to have some time on the field, even if it's just one drive. Like, he needs that. Whether he chooses to believe that or not, I think it's very important.
And there you go. And your internet is acting up again for the first time in a long time. Shelby Lynn.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on. But
yeah, that was like the old times.
I feel like I'm good now, but
yeah, I know. I haven't had a 5-second glitch for you in a while. But yeah, we're both on the same page. So I think it's super important, and I think that's why we'll see him on Sunday. Two sets of downs, maybe, probably not the whole first quarter. I think you're going to see a lot of Brandon Allen again. I really do, because I think they want to make sure that he's ready to go.
Honestly, though, like our third stringer, I can't even remember his name right now. He's kind of a ding dong, but I think
I like the other one, the fourth string guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say the fourth string guy we saw for the first time this last week.
Yep.
And I'm really down with him.
I thought he has a strong arm. He's mobile in the pocket, and he was confident. Boy, that's so huge when coming into a game. He played with confidence. I can't even think of his name right now. I'll have to look him up. But
I feel like a lot of teams in like Atlanta, for instance, and Tampa Bay last year, for instance, aren't too fond of the idea of keeping 2 or 3 quarterbacks on your roster, and I think it's important.
It's a tough call.
I think if Arizona's smart, they're going to keep Colt McCoy and that Strevler kid, because you don't want to give him up. Kyler Murray battled with injuries, and Colt McCoy wasn't perfect, and that Strevler kid wasn't perfect, but those two guys combined made for a hell of a quarterback duo.
That gives you the situation of like New Orleans. They've got the best situation of all, because
yeah, but like most people don't think that though.
I think that just frees up another position player when you've got 2 guys like that competing for a job, honestly, and the one that can play wide receiver.
Wide receiver, tight end. He could probably be a kicker. He could be a running back. He could play on defense if you want him to.
Yeah, I mean, that guy's he's got overall talent and ability, and he doesn't lack on anything, because if you struggle as a wide receiver, you're not getting downs. you've got to be able to run routes and make plays, and we have that pretty consistently. So I think New Orleans has a benefit, whether anybody else thinks that or not. NFL, man, my stuff is all over the place today.
I don't know what's going on with my stuff.
Yeah, we've had you great for a good while. And
yeah, I fixed it. I don't know. It was weird. It was super weird, but it's all good. I think it was just working out of things. I didn't have my computer on very long today, so it didn't get that full startup. It needs to take its time. Things catching up.
You're doing that again a little bit. Oh, you're back.
I think you're doing that now.
My signal's solid. I can see it. So
yeah,
I'm
mine's
not sure.
good, but like I'm seeing everything real time, and yours is the one that's slowing down on my end now.
Yeah, I didn't glitch. I usually know when I glitch, but we'll see. And it's kind of hard to say. But you know what? I'm looking at the roster, and they don't even show the kid that played fourth string on the roster right now. At least the one I'm looking at.
Okay, well, it's most definitely me. Thank you, Shelby. Yeah, I don't know what the heck's going on. I got everything in the house right that needs to be right to make this work, and it's just being weird today. If it's just this one time, I'm fine because I've had so much, clear skies since I fixed the issue. But anyway, I just want to take a second to everybody in here, Facebook and YouTube, to tell you to make sure you like this video. And if you're on Facebook, come over to YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button on our channel, and hit the little bell so you'll know whenever we go live. Also, if you want to share it out to everybody, we would really appreciate that to help us grow. We're inching really close to our 250 subscriber mark, which means giveaway time, and I've got everything ready for our giveaway as soon as we can hit that mark. And so the faster you guys help us get there, the faster we're going to be giving away some stuff.
Absolutely. Cool. Because, once we get a little higher, we got some really good stuff for giveaways. I'm kind of excited about doing those, but you gotta earn the right to give them. So we're going to do it the right way.
Absolutely. Yep. As soon as we hit 250, which I believe we're 10 subscribers away as of yesterday, we'll be doing a giveaway. But the further we go, the better giveaway items we have lined up. And I'm pretty excited to give away some stuff. What are you looking up right now?
I couldn't find that kid's name. His name is Eric Dungy.
Oh, yep, that's right.
Well,
we can also talk about some other notable rookies this week since we're in the preseason. I'm probably going to end up jumping back to Cincinnati. And I just want to say this right now that I know that we lost, but we lost by like 3 points. It wasn't a bad loss. It wasn't something to hang your head about. Despite everything, it's still preseason, so I'm not mad about a win or a loss. Like, I think the win over Tampa Bay was actually huge. It was a very big confidence booster for the starters that did play, for the guys on the bench watching their backups play, for the head coach, and for the guys that were fighting for their jobs. I think that was a huge win. So, like, going into Washington, yes, it would have been awesome if we won that game. But did we need to? No. Like, I think we proved what we needed to prove. We still stood up to that defense, and our defense still stood up to them for the most part. And it just showed a lot of fight, a lot of growth. I'm loving those two running backs, the Henry and is that his name? No, Evans and Patrick. Those two guys, I love them. I know one of them are going to make the number 2 spot behind Joe Mixon or number 3 spot behind P. Ryan. I know at least one of those guys will make the roster, so I'm excited about that. But I want to jump over to the 49ers for a minute and talk about Trey Lance. Look, I told you weeks ago that out of all the quarterbacks, I was pulling for him the most, and I still am. Look, I still think the smart move is for them to start Jimmy G week 1 and let him play until he is no longer showing the ability to win games. And then that's when they bring Trey Lance in. But the way Trey Lance is playing right now, like, I can see all these 49ers fans right now chomping at the bit, yelling at that coach, telling them they need to start Trey Lance week 1. No, don't do that. That's stupid. Let him sit. You got to let the boy cook a little. But I feel like with a whole year under his belt, if he doesn't play any at all, we'll see the 49ers back in the Super Bowl in the next couple of years. If they keep the team they have with that defense, they stay healthy. That was their problem last year. They went from NFC champs to missing the playoffs horribly, and that's because like 20 of their starters were injured almost all year. But they got Kittle back. They got Jimmy G back. They got Nick Bosa back. They have 90% of the bulk of their defense back. You know, Jimmy was the guy who led them to the Super Bowl. You know, he was 2-3 passes away from winning a Super Bowl. They're still a Super Bowl caliber team. Let Trey Lance sit behind and watch that happen. And if Jimmy just starts blowing games and doing dumb things, then take him out and put the rookie in. But I think they should let him sit as long as they possibly can. They only got a year left with Jimmy, and then they can kick him or they can re-sign him. They're probably going to kick him. They gave up a lot for Trey Lance.
You know, honestly, have you ever seen an instance in the NFL where letting a rookie quarterback sit a season was a bad idea? Have you ever seen that play out as bad? I've never seen anything but solid come out of that.
No, yeah. I mean, unless it was just a bad quarterback to begin with, you know, someone that just can't compete in the NFL. Like, I don't see any downside. Like, could you imagine what Justin Herbert would be this year if Tyrod Taylor had not gotten hurt? Like,
ready to rock.
He was ready to contend if they waited. He was already ready to contend as a rookie. Like, he just needed a couple more pieces. If that team was not battling with injury, and I mean everywhere across their team, offense, defense, special teams, everybody was hurting for players. If they had a fully healthy team, they would have made a hell of a run last year with a rookie quarterback. You know, and honestly, as long as obviously the offensive line holds up for Burrow, this could be like him sitting. You know, he's sat a year, but with it getting experience, he could be ready to rock. He could be the same thing I was just saying about Justin Herbert. Like, he could come out firing if they can protect him long enough for him to throw the ball. Like, it could be the same scenario. Like, I'm seeing them as like same team right now, and I love that. The only thing is, you know, Herbert did not get injured. He's not battling an injury. And he's also a tank. But other than that, they're very similar, good quarterbacks. They have very similar teams. Oh, Steve. Hey. He said, well, that's the one problem with all rookie teams. Start them too fast. I remember in the 80s, a team would draft a quarterback to sit for a season or two. Yeah, I think that's the smart move, honestly. Like, I don't see any problem in it. I know, like, they almost did that with Tua last year. And I think it would have been crucial for him if they had done that, to let Fitzpatrick play the whole season. But it's just the whole thing now is they're going to make more money with these guys on the field. And that's what it's about. And, like, I just feel like things are different than they used to be. Things are all about money now. And, you know, getting people to show up to the games, like, other than the diehards that are going to show up anyway, like the 10 Bengals fans that show up every year, whether we go 0-16 or we make the playoffs. Yeah, see, I think that was, like, awesome because they had Alex Smith. He got to mentor Patrick Mahomes on the sideline. He played one game his rookie year, and it was like 10 snaps at most. And, like, look what he accomplished his first year on his own. I just think it's maybe not every position, but key player positions, I think it's important, especially quarterback.
Well, you know, the main thing is that, you know, if you go back to the NFL in the last 30 years, the goal has always been build a team that's built to win for years to come. Now, most of the ownership has a win now philosophy, and they want to throw everything out there on the field that they think that's going to help them win today. Most teams aren't looking to next year; they're looking at right now, and I think that's a mistake in most aspects of the game. But however, if you're playing like that and you're drafting like that and you're trading like that, so you're always trying to put the best team on the field, but letting guys develop. I'm telling you, at some point, Jordan Love's going to be just an absolute stud because he had a chance to develop. But yeah, wholeheartedly agree with both of those comments. I mean, all of our best quarterbacks set for a little while. It seems like, coming right into the league gets you nothing but hurt.
Yeah, look at Burrow. They hadn't built that team up for him yet. I mean, I think they did Andy Dalton a little dirty. I think they should have let him play it out his last year. I mean, the result might have been the same as what happened to him in Dallas, but they were more apt to protect him in Cincinnati than in Dallas. I don't think Dallas really wanted him, and seeing Dak go down like that, Dallas didn't really care who stood in. But I as much as I think Andy Dalton, everybody in the Cincinnati fan base hated him towards the end. I don't see any reason. I still think he is a top 10 quarterback who's just never given the chance to show his top 10 skills.
When the years that he played well, he had adequate offensive line, adequate coaching. He had the same coaches over and over again. The years that he did well for good reasons. Put him in the right situation, I think he's gonna be successful in Chicago for the half a season that he probably gets to play.
Also, Penn says, "Good morning, everyone."
Hi, Penn.
Good morning, evening, afternoon, night, day, whatever time it is, wherever everyone is. Speaking of Andy Dalton, I'll jump over to Chicago this week. He is playing the starter reps. He's going to be their starter. It's not going to be Nick Foles. And then they got Justin Fields, and then they got Nick Foles behind him. I got to watch Andy have a 73-yard touchdown pass this weekend, and seriously, it made me feel good. Look, you can say it's preseason, but when you got your starting quarterbacks out there, that's first team. That's the same as an NFL game. And he made that connection for 73 yards down the field, and he struggled on his first two drives, so I think that really helped him as well. But the catch this kid made was really good. I'm really happy to see him doing well. I think with an offensive line, he had a lot of potential in Dallas too, but there was no line, so he was just getting killed.
Yeah, and no desire to protect him in Dallas either. It was kind of like, they were throwing the season away at that point. They just didn't care. And that was sad because he got hurt and got beat down pretty bad.
Steve says he needs to be with a good line and a great offensive coordinator. I think he has a lot of upside in Chicago.
And plus,
he has the defense to back him up.
And he's got the offensive coordinator that Bill Lazire that he had in Cincinnati that he knows his playbook. So what more benefit can you have than going to a team and already knowing the playbook?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of upside. Justin Fields looks really good, so it's just a matter of time before they push him in there. I think it will be really good for him to sit the whole year. But Chicago's defense is still what it is. I always say it. It's like when people say, well, it's the same old Browns or it's the same old Bengals. But when you talk about Chicago, it's the same old defense. They're good. They still have Khalil Mack. They're still turning. They're still rocking and rolling. He's finally got a defense to back up his actions. And he's got a good enough offensive line to give him some more time. I think whether he plays 2 weeks, 6 weeks, a whole season, he's going to have a good year. If he plays that whole season, we will see Chicago in the playoffs. And I'm not saying we won't anyway. They made it to the playoffs 8-8 last year. They lost their last two games and still made it in. But I think they're going to earn a playoff spot this year. And no matter who's on quarterback, but as long as they keep Andy Dalton in, I think they're going to have a good production out of that team.
Yeah, give me one more tidbit from this weekend's games that you took away that you were pretty happy with, or not so happy with.
Well, there's a lot, but I'm going to jump over to New England. Cam and Mac Jones, and they got Brian Hoyer or whatever as their third string. Like, what a good group of quarterbacks. It's kind of like Chicago. They got Andy, they got Nick Foles, and they got Justin Fields. One rookie and two vets. Like, it's awesome. But, like, I'm not going to be the one that says I love Mac Jones. Like, I never liked Mac Jones, and I'm not going to change. But I'm going to say I like the style he's playing in New England. Like, he's actually proving himself. But that's not who I want to talk about. I want to talk about Cam Newton, the man, the myth, the legend, the one who's literally his career's on the line this year. I think he's going to ball out. He had a slow start in the first game, but the second game he came out. He only had like 3 incomplete passes. He was actually throwing over 10-yard passes, moving the ball down the field. Like, it's what they couldn't get out of him last year. And it's what I've been saying. All he needed was an offseason. All he needed was more time, and he was going to be able to produce with this offense. And not only is he had nobody last year, he's gotten the time to learn the playbook, to learn the guys, but he's also got real weapons now. People who opted out are back. He went out and got all these guys. I think the only guy he doesn't have is Hunter Henry because he's injured right now. But, like, he's balling out. He's going to look good this season. We're going to see the Patriots in the playoffs, whether it be Mac Jones or it be Cam Newton. I think it's going to be Cam, and I think he's going to look good.
You're getting to the point with the added 17th game this year. I'm just going to go ahead and say it in the AFC. You're probably going to have to win 11 games to make the playoffs. Because
before preseason started, I was saying 10. But Miami won 10 games last year, and they didn't get in the playoffs.
I'm going to say it's going to be 11 in the AFC this year.
It's going to be 10 with winning every single one of your division games, or 11.
Fair enough. Yeah, I just don't. I think that wild card is going to be a hotly contested race down to the last day. I mean, you're going to have 5 teams the last week competing for that wild card, and we don't know what the 17th game is going to make it look like, right? Because the 17th game could just bring everybody tied in again. So it's definitely time for some excitement to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, and another rookie quarterback that I haven't got to watch, but I've watched replays of. Zach Wilson is still looking good. Look, it's preseason. We can't forget that. But I still think that division might be like one of the hardest divisions, like playing within the division this year. I think Miami is still going to fall short. They're not going to make the playoffs this year, not with Tua. But I do see them going dual quarterback with Jacoby Brissett because we've seen a lot of him in the preseason, which we will see a lot of him against Cincinnati as well this weekend. But I don't think it's enough to get them in the playoffs, with which they got to compete against the Jets. The Jets won't be in the playoffs, but it's going to be hard to beat them in the division. They got to play against the Patriots, whether it's Cam or whether it's Mac Jones. They're going to get beat unless, that defense eats the Patriots alive, which that's possible. But, like, I always say defense wins championships, but defense can't always get you to the playoffs. You still have to be able to score points. I think they're going to struggle. Tua struggled. And then, you said one other tidbit, but I got about 100 of them. I want to jump over to the Kansas City, Arizona game. Probably one of the best regular season matchup games we would see, honestly. But I just want to talk about how Patrick Mahomes played over a quarter. Kyler Murray played over a quarter. But the Arizona offense had -1 yards at the end of the first quarter with Kyler Murray. They did not produce a single yard of offense through an entire quarter. And I just feel like that should make everybody nervous, especially if we're pulling for Arizona.
I still love that roster.
I love that roster, but with all the guys they had, the only guy that on their starting roster that didn't play was DeAndre Hopkins. They did have AJ out there. They had Christian Kirk out there. There was a bunch of dropped balls, missed connections. They weren't able to run the ball with James Conner or whatever the other guy's name is. I can't even remember. There was like nothing. They couldn't do anything. And look, I love my Chiefs. I love my Chiefs offense. I love my Chiefs defense. I'm with them 100%, but their Chiefs defense is not as strong as some of these other defenses in the league. Look, I love every guy on the team, but compared to Washington, the Rams, the Bucks, defenses are all better than the Chiefs defense. In the division, the 49ers, speaking of division rivals, Arizona has to get better on offense. They have to start clicking or they're not going to make the playoffs because they're in a tough division. And like they ended up coming back with their backups and their second and third strings, but that's not the same. Like I said earlier, your first team is the equivalent to an NFL game. Their first team was out there all of the first quarter, and they had -1 yards.
Dude, that NFL West is just, or the NFC West is just, it's just a very, very highly contested, tight division. I think all four teams, I think the Rams look a little better than most, but I think all four teams can win 12 games. I mean, I feel like all four teams could win 12 games.
I just want to talk about how the Chiefs are balling out still. Even their second, third string, it don't matter. They're balling out. But, like, I want to see Arizona do well. Like, they're my favorite probably in the NFC. And that was, like, it hurt seeing Kyler Murray, AJ Green, Christian Kirk, all these guys do nothing.
Yeah, I'm still going to stick with my NFC gun this year. I still think Matthew Stafford's going to shine, and for the Rams, I think that's going to be the ultimate fit for this season. I think they're going to be in the Super Bowl. Still do.
I think Matthew Stafford could win MVP.
Oh, yeah, definitely not Carson.
I do.
Speaking of Carson Wentz,
Carson Wentz, he came to practice today.
Yeah.
Now the odds for week 1 of the Colts have changed. Wait, what are you saying? Nah, no way to. We just talked about like 4 teams in like 10 seconds. I do see Matt Stafford fighting for. I don't think he'll. Okay, he said I don't think he'll take him all the way. I still think he can win MVP this year.
If Jared Goff can get most of that team to the Super Bowl, Matt Stafford can win a Super Bowl.
Also, Relics and Stack Stones, Ian is in the house.
What's up, my brother?
What's going on? And speak of the devil, I showed you he'd probably show his face. Mr. John Clapp.
Welcome. What's up, John?
No, yeah. I don't know if it's the defense or the offense or all of the above. Look, I don't think the Rams are going to be in the Super Bowl for one reason and one reason only. And it's because they're not going to have a dominant run game. Cam Akers went down, and the number one guy they had behind him that was battling with injuries just as well last year, I don't think he's a number one running back. They don't have anyone strong enough to put behind him to have a 2 running back system. I think that's what's going to hurt them. And, Matt Stafford's going to be throwing 400, 500 yards a game trying to put points on the board because they can't run the ball. Look, Their defense is going to save them because, listen, their defense is top-notch. But you still have to have a run game. Like, that's why Pittsburgh couldn't go farther last year because their offensive line was hurting and they couldn't run the ball effectively. That's why they drafted Najee Harris in the first round. Running backs don't usually go in the first round, but Cam Akers going down really, really hurt the Rams. If he had not gone healthy, I would say Rams to the Super Bowl 100%. Are they going to be in the playoffs? Yes. But that run game, I think it's severely going to hurt them.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to have the run game. You've got to have the ability to run, or you've got to still try to run the ball. You can't just go to the pass only because that's where when teams can sit back and cover, it's a lot tougher. I'm going to go down here for just a second, and Cam Akers is hurt, and I was looking to see if they had picked up anybody else that I know, and they have not. They're all first-year rookies or
Henderson.
Yeah, Darrell Henderson, third-year running back, 5'8", 208. 5'11" for Xavier Jones out of SMU. There's not a big breakout runner in there. I wonder if they will end up picking up another running back because
So if they do, that changes what I just said. It gives them a better chance at the run game, but they can't depend on one guy who couldn't even stay healthy all year last year.
Yep, you're right. Cam Akers was the guy that was going to give them the best chance to win. They've got to find somebody that can split the tackles and run. I don't know if it's going to be any of them 4 guys that are on the roster. I haven't got a chance to watch them yet either, so I don't know what.
I know Matt Stafford hasn't played, at least the first game. I don't know about the second game. That's their only thing holding them back.
Do you realize, I was going to say something about that team, but did you realize that Deshaun Jackson is in his 14th season this year? Not many wide receivers stay in the league past the age of 32, 33, and he's 34 years old, playing his 14th season this year.
He's been hopping around.
That's the other thing about that team, and I've never really said this, but I really don't care that much for the receiving corps. I'm not a Robert Woods guy. I'm not a Cooper Kupp guy.
I'm not a Cooper Kupp guy, but I do like Robert Woods.
Yeah, I just don't think I'm just and I'm telling you what.
I mean, people don't watch the Rams for their offense. Let's just be honest here. Last year their offense was the Cam Akers rookie season. I'm gonna go on a tear and tear everything up. That was their offense. I think it's going to look a little different now that you're going to be able to throw the ball effectively this year. But even like in the postseason, when that guy that ended up going out with the stinger, I can't remember his name right now, that backup, he looked good. He made that offense work better than Jared Goff can.
John Wolford.
Wolford, yeah. I liked that guy. I hope they keep him. If he gets healthy, or I don't know his status, but I hope they keep him because he did a lot for that team from really not playing with them to getting thrown in there right in playoff time.
We get on football and we don't shut up ever. I know we've got to discuss this baseball series this week because.
All right, well, we can hop to baseball, but I'm not promising you I'm not going to slip right back into football at any point in time.
Yeah, I know. I just feel like it's so necessary because, we've been pushing.
No, this is a big week for the Reds. Let's just start with the one thing that we can all say. First of all, it was our 4th 4-game sweep this year, which is huge. That's 16 games worth of sweep. Not even including the 3-game sweeps, but 4th 4-game sweep. We got a rookie pitcher who has secured his spot in the rotation for 2022. Not all starting pitchers do that. He's a stud. And then number 3, for the first time, and I don't even know how long, we are ahead of the Padres, and we are in wild card spot for now. By a whole game, not a half game, by one whole game. And we're on an off day today. But, we're seeing a lot of firsts. We're 12 games above 500. Everything about right now is huge.
Yeah, and so you go into a 3-game series this week, and it seems when you look at the pitching matches for these 3 games, I'm going to bring them up.
We got Tyler Mahle versus Corbin Burns first.
2 guys that are having, that's basically Corbin Burns is their best pitcher on starting. Mahle on the road is probably our best road pitcher.
He's definitely one of the best road pitchers in the National League.
Yeah, it's amazing. He does not pitch as well at home, but he pitches well on the road.
He pitches fantastic on the road. And, this is when we need him right now. This could not be a bigger time to need good pitching on the road. Think about it. We're 8 games behind the Brewers. I'm not thinking about catching the Brewers. But only one of the times we've been there, we've played bad. Almost every time we've played them, we've played pretty good, especially there. So if we could come in there, win 2 games, win 3 games, get the sweep, who knows? We could have stopped them. We could have broke their momentum if we are able to do that. They could go on a downhill stretch right now. And I'm not saying this in confidence. I'm saying this in a probable situation that if we're able to win 2 or 3 of these games, we could put a stop to their momentum because they don't really have that much good going on right now. They're just hitting well. Um, they could go on a losing streak after us. We can still catch them if we
Oh, for
continue
sure.
to win. Like it's not out of the conversation just yet. You seeing 8 games behind sounds like it, yeah. But playing them, that if we could beat them 3 times, that gets us 3 whole games on them where we were behind.
I I really, we talked about the first one, and then the second game, Brandon Woodruff is probably their most unlucky pitcher, but has a low ERA, and Luis Castillo, his ERA keeps going down every week, and he's found his group. So we're looking at 2 games that probably the first 2 games of the series may not be high scoring, maybe pitching duels, may come down to the bullpen, which now they do have a better bullpen than we do, but we've gotten to their bullpen multiple times.
And speaking of our bullpen, TJ Antone should make a return back tomorrow. And we got Lucas Sims. And we have Lorenzen. Those 3 guys right there. We got rid of Heath Henry, who has kind of dipped. Brad Brock should be back soon off of the injury list. I'm not looking forward to that. I'm just saying he's going to be back sooner or later. But those 3 guys right there, that's a tough rotation in the bullpen.
Yeah, I think they're still deciding whether or not if they want to keep Brad Brock. I don't know that he's in the long-term plans, but I know that Art Warren, who is on the 60-day.
Yeah, it's his oblique. He comes back in a week or 2. But we also got Sessa, who is not horrible, but we also got Michael Givens, and I really do like him. Do you think that the Reds should bring Hunter and Lodolo up? I think we're going to see Hunter Green very soon, in probably 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, I can tell you definitely in September call-ups, they're both going to get a start. But yeah, Hunter Green is pitching amazing. I got to watch him, and his off speed and his fastball is touching 100 every time. I mean, he's ready, but I think they're going to play the what do you call it? They're going to play the percentage odds, and they're going to be slow with him because of the Tommy John surgery. So he may get like 1 or 2 spot starts. But I don't think they're going to push him this year. Even if they make a playoff run, I don't think that's going to be a push. But both of those guys are looking really good in the minor leagues, which gives us leverage for next year.
Honestly, though, I know we have bullpen issues, and that's been probably the root of our whole team issues this year. But I think our bullpen is at its peak, strongest right now.
Yeah,
especially with TJ coming back. We got Santillan, Givens, Sessa, TJ, Lucas Sims, Michael Lorenzen. I think we're it can only go up from here. Unless we get another injury.
And I think taking the pressure off of Amir Garrett is really going to help him because now he doesn't have to stress about being the number 1 arm in the bullpen. When he comes in, he can come in.
He also doesn't have to stress about playing every day.
Yeah, I mean, that guy, he's worked on his mental issues. He's now a dad. He is getting his head right. Now it's his time. Once he gets his pitching right, once he gets to where he can stops thinking about everything he throws, he's got the best left-handed slider in baseball. And then coupled with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, I mean, he's got the tools to win. So they've just got to get him right. I don't think they're going to give up on him yet, even though he has had an attitude problem, a la Javi Baez, a la the whole Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean, he's a bit of a hothead, but if they cool him down, eventually he's going to work out.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think I don't. This year has really hurt my feelings towards him, but not having him for a while has made me forget about how angry I've been at him in the past. And I think I can't deny that he's a great pitcher. At least for an inning, he's a great pitcher. He can close a game. But I think having all these new guys in here, giving him some time off, I think it's really big. And we're getting other guys in here that you need that time. Giving some of these other guys time off. And everybody's getting playing time now. And I think that's huge for the Reds that everybody's getting equal playing time. They were finally able to give India a break yesterday, which is good. Give him a break with a day off to follow going into the Brewers. I think he's gonna tear up the Brewers. Like if there's anybody on our hitting lineup that's gonna go on a tear this series, I think it's gonna be him. I don't know what it is. I'm like Jesse Winker is and will always be my boy. But Jonathan India is gonna win Rookie of the Year. He's going to go on a tear this last couple weeks, this last couple months of the season. Like, I think he's going to just turn it up another 2 notches.
Well, I really look forward to not looking too far ahead, but I really look forward to this series being a good one for Jonathan. Also, in this series, I'm going to tell you who I expect to hit well, and that's Joey Votto. And because he has a tendency to get up for the Milwaukee, the games within our division. He has an affinity for hitting well in those games, especially on the road. So I'm really stoked to see those two. And my third pick for the week, and it's only going to probably be in a limited role. I don't know which days he's going to play, but Tyler Stevenson has really shown a lot of maturity. And I mean, even though I think he's predictable as a hitter because I've watched him so much, but it was just like the other day at that game. I knew he was going to take that open right field line for the easy double. I just knew it going in, and right off the bench, he takes it down the line, and he does the right thing for the team when he bats. I'm so happy with our rookies, and they don't make the mistakes that other rookies do. They're mature. They've really seasoned well this year, and they're playing good baseball, and that's why completely stoked. I'm on the hunt for playoff tickets. I'm on the hunt for more tickets before the end of the season. We'll go back. I guarantee you we're going to go back.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, like, if you listen to these guys, like, even David Bell and all of those guys that manage this team, that when they talk about India and Stevenson, they say, yeah, we forget that they're rookies because of how mature they are and how well they play. Because, like, when you look at Jonathan India's statistics, he's getting measured up next to everybody else. He's way past the rookie point.
Oh, yeah.
And then Tyler Stevenson, they don't even consider him a rookie because of how well he handles his at-bats. He doesn't chase mostly. He plays a lot like Joey Votto on the bag. He can see the pitches. He swings when he knows he needs to. He doesn't try to rush it. He doesn't try to force it. Like, I can see a young Joey Votto in him. And it doesn't really help me saying that when you see him training with Joey Votto, playing first base a lot early this season. And so, like, honestly, like, I like the comparison. They hit similar. They're very, obviously he's a veteran. He's been there a long time. He's playing his best baseball right now. Also, speaking of Joey Votto, in the betting odds, like 3 days ago, him to win NL MVP was at like plus 500, and today it's at 2,500. It went down a half. So the odds for him to win MVP are getting up there.
This has been his best season since 2010 in my mind. It's the first time he's free swung, and he's hitting a lot more home runs. His fielding is outstanding. He's making all the digs. Dude, I'm just telling you that there's so many good things to say about this team right now. The only other thing that you've got to worry about is getting Moustakas, Suarez on track, and really settling on your number 4 outfielder. I think Naquin, with his hitting over the last 10 or 12 days, has really, as much as I hate to say it because I'm not a Naquin fan, has really secured him in that lineup. He's the main reason why that they tendered Nick Senzel and back down to AAA, and will probably inevitably trade him because Nick Senzel is one of those guys that we thought was going to be Kyle Farmer this year, right? Play infield, play outfield, but he's like a glass slipper. He just gets broken every time he does anything wrong. So I think they're going to probably end that relationship, and then we've got a solid 4 outfielders. I mean, 5. We've got with Winker,
Shogo.
Shogo, Aquino, Naquin, and Castellanos, that's what we're going to go with the rest of the year. I guarantee it. And then every one of them guys, if they hadn't put Shogo in the game for that defensive replacement double switch, we might not have won that game Saturday because that little blooper would have scored 2 runs. And
Dude, Shogo is a monster. Like that was the highlight of my game. For me of that game, because like I feel like nobody's really up on Shogo like I am. Like I've been talking about him and I just love him, and like I feel like he's just not credited and he's making big plays like that every time he steps on the field.
well,
No one else in the outfield is making plays like he does.
Okay, well, let's go. By far the best defensive outfielder. He can outglove everybody in that outfield, hands down, bar none. That's fact. But his hitting has struggled a little bit. He has been hitting with a little more power lately, which is what they want from him. Although that's not his strong suit. You know what? If I could put something out there that he needs to learn a bunting game because of his speed and how well he can go down the third base line with the ball. A bunting game would really help him out and get him some more at bats. But they got $7 million invested in him this year. He's got 1 more year on the contract to prove himself. Keep playing a good role. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Even if you're not hitting perfect, if you can save plays like that every single game, I feel like that's enough to earn you a roster spot.
Oh, yeah, and there's. To be fair, most of the high prospects that are still down are infielders and pitchers. So there's not a lot coming up through the vines. And that's probably why, in all honesty, if they would have sent Aristides back down, they would have had to release him and somebody would have picked him up on waivers and we would have lost him. So Senzel did have options left, so they optioned him back to AAA. And so they do have the option to keep him for next year. But I just feel like that relationship is broke because Nick Senzel's got one of them high-end agents that's trying to make that man money, and he'll probably get a trade.
At this point, like, we can't be upset about it.
No,
we're sitting in a good spot, and like, I don't know, it's like things like we're gonna have to just like accept it and move on. Because baseball is a very aggressive system when it comes to players. There's no time to get sad about that.
No, and the
as
thing
much
about
as I want to, because I do like Senzel. I think he's a hell of a ball player.
Me too.
Wait, speaking of, I got this. None of my cards are in here except for like this one, but rookie card.
You know what? That's you got to hope for him at the end of the day.
Yep. Yeah, like almost all my baseball cards are not in here anymore, but I do have that rookie slab.
So, previewing Thursday night, it looks like we're going to be a lot on baseball Thursday for sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. I work tomorrow and Wednesday until 7:30 both days. So that's basically where I'm going to be at with that. And Thursday night, I'm off all day Thursday, so I'll be ready to rock and roll by the time we go. And then I think Thursday we start our last games of the NFL preseason kickoff Thursday. I know the Bengals don't play till Sunday.
Yeah, they play the 4:00 game on the 29th.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll be previewing basically the week. I don't know if I think the Chiefs play Friday, but we'll be previewing the final week of preseason before we have regular season football on Thursday. I can't believe I'm finally saying that.
Heck yeah, I'm really excited because, starting next week, we're talking about week 1 football. And then also we will probably have a night, and anybody that's still around that didn't get the opportunity to, we're going to have a fantastic fantasy league for this channel. And next year we're going to try to grow it. So if you watch us, we'll probably do updates for our fantasy league, whether we do short videos.
Yeah, I'm going to do weekly. It's going to be mentioned every Thursday. Every Thursday stream because that'll be the first day of the week for preseason, so our fantasy, so we can talk about the week before on our Thursdays. Even though there's a game played, we'll on our Thursday night streams, we'll be talking about that. If anything major happens, obviously I'm gonna make a post about it because I'm going all the way. I don't. My run game got destroyed with Cam Akers, but I have a backup plan.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't gone through. I'm winning.
I'll just wait.
I'm winning.
Yeah.
You know who's not winning?
Shelby?
Rob.
Oh, poor Rob. Yeah, man. He's like scheduled to finish second to last. I feel bad. I stole his defense though.
It was smart play.
Yeah, I had to take a defense early because I would have lost him if not. I wasn't taking the Chiefs defense. I wasn't taking the Bengals defense. I was either going Bucks or Rams, and that was it. I wouldn't take anybody else. I needed to make sure I was the first one who picked a defense, and I did. I was the first one who picked a kicker as well. Actually, second because Peyton took my kicker, but it's fine.
Yeah,
I got a backup plan. I've been watching. I've been reading all the updates on all these players in fantasy. I'm ready. It's mine. I'm taking home the trophy. And also, I don't know if I told you, but Peyton has thrown up a Tua Tagovailoa slab graded card, rookie card. He said winner of the league. He's throwing that card in for.
Right on, and that's cool because we'll all if somebody whoever wins the league this year, there's going to be a prize. We just haven't denoted what we're going to do yet, but a couple baseball cards, and I'm sure that Alex and I will throw in something really cool for anybody.
I got some football cards. I got some basketball cards. We got lots of hockey cards now, even though we don't know anything about hockey.
But so Thursday night, expect hopefully a happy stream over this 3-game series in Milwaukee. I would love 2 out of 3. I would love a sweep, but I'll take 2.
I'll take 2 any day. Any day, 2 games, that's fine with me. At this point, yeah, because 2 games will keep us ahead of San Diego.
And also, we'll probably more than likely, we're going to update the playoff picture probably weekly now because it's getting to that point where it's a big topic of conversation out there for sports world is how everybody's doing and who's coming and who's fading. So we'll probably segment that a little bit. And then we're going to preview Sundays or the last week of preseason. We might throw in some surprise picks on who might get cut, who might make teams, who might, that were shockers that weren't expected.
Speaking of cuts, I woke up to one specific player getting cut that my feelings were hurt. Defensive end for the Chiefs, Taco Charlton. I am so upset. I can't believe they cut Taco, dude. They said he was too expensive to be a backup. And I was like, I hope they re-sign him before the season starts, though.
That is possible.
Because, I saw a comment that said at least they didn't do it on Tuesday. That's so funny. And then I saw another one. They said, well, they cut Bell, so it was only a matter of time before they cut the Taco Bell duo. And I was like, okay, well, you've cheered me up, so I'm not that upset about it. But I'm still pretty upset because I freaking love Taco. He's a great defensive end. He can come play for Cincinnati now that we lost that one kid probably for the whole season, and I won't be as upset. But I liked having him in KC. But Taco, I'm gonna call Zach Taylor and look. Taco Charlton's available. Don't be an idiot.
You know what? You just hit one thing that I do want to hit on really fast. The fact, there is a little silver lining in the Joseph Osai season-ending surgery that's coming. He's getting ready to go on the reserve list, but it looks like that Noah Spence is going to get signed. They
already signed Noah Spence.
Good. So that they're going to definitely update the defensive end spot, and Noah Spence is a good spot for that.
I'm glad they put him on the reserve though, because we don't need to lose that kid. You saw what he did to Tom Brady. There's only 3 people a year to get to touch that man, and he was one of them.
Yeah, as a rookie
debut.
As a rookie against their number 1 O-line, and then he put him down on the ground. So, you know what? They were not going to risk losing him. However, that's the thing. of everybody that they drafted this last year. So far, he was the one that looked ready to play in the NFL.
And that Hodgins guy.
Hodges, yes. I like that kid too. God. So you know what? So it's back to Thursday. Thursday we're gonna have baseball update, playoff update. Hopefully we'll have happy talk about the Reds and Brewers series. We are gonna probably preview our. We'll probably talk a little bit about fantasy again, just to kind of get everybody wound up and know that we're 1 week from first week, and then all the drama from this next couple of days and cuts and practices and who's going where. And then preview football for the weekend.
Yep, I'm in. I'm ready to go. Thursday it's gonna be fun for sure.
Anybody, we thank you all for being here today. Please like, subscribe, and most importantly, out of all of those things, I think is just share this stream out a little bit. Let other people know you're watching it. You know what? It doesn't hurt you much to share it. People aren't going to judge you by what you share, and maybe you might help somebody find something that they enjoy. We're really proud to do it every week, and we enjoy the time that everybody spends with us.
Absolutely. Shelby said, see you guys. All right. And, well, we will see you guys in a couple days.
All right. Anybody, that's the way we're going to end it today. See you guys on Thursday. Hope everybody comes back.